So right now, as we speak, they're having a protest. They had a march and they're having a protest. And this is for a South LA resident. And so I will read the article. I'm sad, I'm mad. LA reels after deputy kills black man during bike violation stop. This is by Pilar Melendez, September 1st. And so here's a photo of him. The family of a 29-year-old black man fatally shot by deputies during a traffic stop over a bicycle code violation on Monday has demanded accountability and justice amid a fresh wave of protests. Why? Why another shooting? Why another killing? All we ask is why. The family members say that Dejon Kizzies was fatally shot by Los Angeles Sheriff Department deputies after they attempted to stop him while he was riding a bicycle in violation of a vehicle code. So almost immediately after the incident, hundreds of demonstrators took to the streets in outrage, chanting for justice as they marched to the South LA Sheriff's Station on Imperial Highway. So right now, I'm sad, I'm mad. At the same time, Fletcher Fair, Kizzy's aunt, told reporters on Tuesday, why us? We are tired, and we are absolutely tired. Los Angeles Sheriff Department said that when the deputies tried to stop the man, he dropped the bike and ran, prompting a foot pursuit and a physical altercation. So during the scuffle, the man allegedly dropped a bunch of clothes that were in his hand, and deputies said that they spotted the black handgun and at the same time opened fire, hitting him several times. Why? This is the reason why we asked the question, why? Our suspect was holding some items of clothing in his hand. He punched one of the officers in the face and then dropped the items in his hand. Sheriff Lieutenant Brandon Dean said Monday evening. So the deputies noticed that inside the clothing items that he had dropped was a black semi-automatic handgun, at which time the deputy involved shooting occurred. It was not immediately clear what vehicle code Kizzy had violated while riding his bike, so a doorbell video released ABC7 that reportedly came from the residents who witnessed the shooting appears to capture at least 15 gunshots. Kristen Clark on Twitter. This is Dejon Kizzy, hashtag Dejon Kizzy, 29-year-old, and shot and killed by LA sheriffs after being stopped for a bike violation. Cops handcuffed his lifeless body. While police investigations can drag on for months, years, cops have already claimed that he ran away and dropped clothes and a gun. Hashtag BLM. So this is him right here. Video of the incident shows a man running from deputies with what appeared to be a ball of clothing in his hand. The video then jumps to two deputies on the sidewalk with their guns drawn while a man is on the ground. Another portion of what a witness video was posted. Fox 11 shows the man's body on the ground behind a pickup truck as angry bystanders yell at the deputies. At one point in the video, other deputies arrive at the scene and at least one appears to be leaning over the man and putting handcuffs on him. How are you going to put handcuffs on a dead man? Somebody heard yelling on the video, though it is not immediately clear if the man is deceased. Authorities said that the man was pronounced dead at the scene and a handgun was recovered. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday, Kizzy's relatives and the community activists confirmed the 29-year-old was carrying a weapon, but said that he wasn't wielding it at the deputies at the time, so nor did he reach for it from the ground when he was shot, and they said that he was therefore unarmed when he was killed. So Anthony Johnson, the 29-year-old's uncle, told reporters on Tuesday that residents had to clean nephew's blood up off the sidewalk. They shot him, they killed him. The least they could have done was clean up after themselves, Johnson said. Amira Irene Roberson, a 22-year-old neighbor, told the Daily Beast that the Monday afternoon incident was extremely traumatic for the community that is used to heavy police presence. Here in South LA, there is heavy police presence. Because of the neighborhood, it is common to hear helicopters hovering over your head. And I'm saying this because I know this because I'm a South LA resident, and so for maybe an hour you'll hear helicopters hovering over your head. They'll also flash lights in your house, like they're looking for a suspect. And so you can hear this for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, like they're having a standoff. But the constant hovering was scary. So people were out in their yards, on their porches, talking about what happened, she said. So some neighbor was crying and others were just upset. And she said that she believes the incident will make things a lot worse. And she's right. So this has been Crump. Hashtag Dejon Kizzy, a 29-year-old black man, was fatally shot at LA Sheriff Department HQ deputies. So cops stopped him while riding his bike for alleged vehicle code violation. They say he ran, dropped his clothes and a handgun. He didn't pick it up, but cops shot him in the back. Listen how many times, you guys. 20 times. 20 times he was shot in the back. Why do you do this? That's all we ask. Why? 20 times, and then they left him for hours. So Los Angeles Sheriff Alex Villanueva, offered his condolence to the Kizzy's family and revealed that the 29-year-old was related to a department employee. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family, and that includes a member of my own department who is a cousin of the deceased, Villanueva said while speaking at the board of supervisors meeting on Tuesday. And so the incident comes as an intense protest continues in Kenosha, Wisconsin over a shooting of very similar, the 29-year-old black man, Jacob Blake, and we heard about this, who was shot in the back 7 times at close range August 23rd as he has tried to get into a van with his kids. So according to the CBS LA News, while there were some reports of vandalism during the overnight march in LA, there were no arrests. In videos that are protested posted on social media, hundreds of residents are seen chanting, "No justice, no peace," and they say his name in the neighborhood where Kizzy was shot before they were met with deputies in riot gear. After several hours, the crowd moved to South LA Sheriff's Station, so the police killed another black man, another black person. We're tired of the injustice and we're tired of police brutality. We're tired of being looked at or looked upon as fourth-class citizens, and we're tired of just not being treated equally, Raheem Taylor, a protester, told CBS Los Angeles. So these are videos of the protests, the current protests. They're just clips that are slowly coming in of these protests, and people are tired. You're just tired of it, and so this is what you're going to see. And so Melina Abdullah, co-founder of LA chapter of Black Lives Matter movement, told the crowd they stole his life and they're going to assassinate his character. They're going to try to criminalize this community, which they've already done. And so South LA has a long history of uprisings that are historical because of this type of treatment that most African Americans usually get because of killing or shooting or police brutality. So the sheriff, and one that you know famously is the Rodney King 1992 LA riots, and the sheriff department confirmed to the Daily Beast that multiple independent investigations were underway and in accordance with the protocol for the deputy involved shooting. Unlike LA Police Department, sheriff deputies are not required to wear body-worn cameras. So LA County Board of Supervisors on Tuesday approved a $25 million funding for body cameras, but only 5 sheriff stations have it. And so 5 stations don't include the station involved. It doesn't include that station that was involved in Monday's incident. So we still have to conduct our interview of the investigation for officers to see exactly what had happened and transpired during the deputies involved was reaching for a semi-automatic. If the individual was reaching for a semi-automatic or not. And so I would suggest that you know that would probably be the deadly reason why for the deadly force, which is important in the case. And so Kizzy did not have any children and is survived by his younger brother who just graduated from high school, family members have said. And so this is pretty much the article. And you saw the clips that are happening. There's just a few, and those are probably by reporters. So I'm going to leave this video with you, but we're just tired of all of the brutality. But think about what's happening right now, what we're in. This is still the pandemic. There's a lot of people who might be evicted from their housing. People are rent burdened. They're poor. They are struggling. There's a lot of people unemployed. There's what we see this election year. You know, we see a lot of rallies that are rioting rallies. They're revved up. It seems to be all centered around race. And it also seems as though that more of these shootings are not isolated incidents, that it's like targeting black people in general, and poor people are being targeted, and people who just don't have money, you know, that they're not wealthy, this COVID, it really did a number on a lot of people. You know, there's still people that could be facing being homeless, newly homeless. And so when you have all of these shootings and you have this pandemic and you have this huge number of people unemployed and people who might end up being evicted, it's just really not a time that people are looking to just get a pat on the back. You have to do more. And so you have to do a lot better than this. This right here, no. It's totally unacceptable. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to see more retaliation, more distrust from the community with law enforcement, when we've been hearing about the little cliques that are in law enforcement, some of the stations, and then you're also hearing about people being pursued, wrongfully pursued. And then we haven't even finished the moratoriums. When those end, you're looking at riots and people upset. There's going to be more riots because you got people that are going to get thrown out in the street. Some people have already been thrown out in the street. Some of the stories that I'm hearing, they're getting locked out of their places, their utilities shut off, they're being kicked out of their homes, and the rent is like extremely high, even in neighborhoods where it's really not worth all the rent that they're asking for. And, people are tired. So having said that, I'm going to let this video go. What are your thoughts and feedback on this? I did try to do this video earlier. I don't know if it came out. It did. Well, this one, I'm sure it did. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video. I'm not surprised if they don't have more riots. I mean, this is what you're doing to us. You're killing us. If it's not COVID, it's police shootings. If it isn't that, it's all these rules and oh, wear a mask, and if you don't wear a mask, you're gonna this is what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna die, and people already are in fear, living in fear, and then you're living in fear even more. And so now this, and now we have another threat. We have several threats. We have several crises in the Black community. We have the fear of police killing us, that COVID could kill us, and then we have fear of homelessness and being kicked out of our homes, and not having a place to stay simply because you're not paying this high rent for places that are already in neighborhoods where you got to fear for your life anyway. So having said that, I'm going to let this video go. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for listening.